everybody, my name is Kathy Kareem. Welcome to another cup of Kathy. This week's episode is a film review of the movie Creed. Why is it a film review? The aim of Cup of Kathy is to motivate, inspire, energize and stimulate, and Creed the movie does exactly that. In this review I'll be telling you what I thought about the film, the standout quotes that I love, and I'll be giving it an inspiration factor score out of 10. So, what is Creed? If you weren't aware already, Creed is the 7th installment of Rocky. Well, I wouldn't say the 7th, I would say it's a standalone film, but it continues in the world of Rocky. It stars Sylvester Stallone, of course, and Michael B. Jordan, as well as Tessa Thompson and some other fantastic actors. It is directed by Ryan Coogler. The story is about Donnie, who was the son of Apollo Creed, but nobody knew about him. He's grown up and he wants to be a boxer, and he goes back to Philadelphia to find Rocky and says, listen, you knew my dad, you were amazing, my dad was amazing, I want you to train me. However, he does not want to use the Creed name. He doesn't want to be known as Creed because he wants to make his own legacy. This is part of what made this film so amazing. There's so many amazing lessons that we can take away from this film. During the last fight scene, I was like, and I was in the cinema by myself. Yes, I go to the cinema on my own sometimes. Don't judge me, okay? I have a Cineworld card and I pay £16 a month, and it means that I can go and see as many films as I want, as many times as I want, and I never pay more than £16 a month. I got a free month when I was joining. If you guys want the code for that free month, I'll pop it in the description of this video. So, this film took me all over the place. Every Rocky film almost feels to me like the writers are saying to themselves, how many motivational quotes can we fit into 120 minutes of screen time? It was motivational from beginning to the end, and there was a story of triumph, but not in the way that you would expect. I'll leave you to watch the film and you can decide for yourselves. Here are some of the quotes that I found most inspirational. Time takes everybody out. It is undefeated. Yes, time beats everybody at the end of the day. We've only got a certain amount of time on this earth and we've got to make it count. Anytime you're in the ring, the only opponent that you're facing is you. You are your biggest opponent. That is the biggest opponent that you're facing in the ring of life. If you want something, you've got to go and get it. When Donnie wanted to train with Rocky, Rocky kept on saying no. He's like, nope, I don't do that anymore. Rocky actually goes to him, you're just like a woodpecker, you just don't stop going whack, 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 whack. And I was like, that's so true. That's how we have to be if you want to get anything in life. We have to keep pecking at it, going at it, knocking on those doors that keep being shut at us. We have to continue to go and grab it. There's also a point in the film when he's given an opportunity and Rocky wants to say no, and Donnie says to him, what are we training for? It's true. What are we training for? Whatever we're doing in life, we have to have a goal. We have to have an end thing that we're aiming towards. Like, what are we training for? What are you working towards? What are you living towards? Build your own legacy. It's something that Donnie is struggling with the whole time. He's saying it with his mouth, but in his actions, he's constantly afraid of being in his father's shadows. He's constantly afraid of having to live up to what his father did. So for me, what made this film inspirational is the fact that it is about becoming your own person, building your own legacy, despite having what seemingly feels like the world on your shoulders. We all have the world's expectations on our shoulders. We feel like, I'm meant to be this by a certain age, but it's like, no, be your own person. Rocky says to Donnie, I don't know if you're special, mate. Only you know that. Only we know if we're special, and the only time the world is going to treat us like we are special is if we know it ourselves. But a lot of the time we want the world to tell us that we're special first before we believe it ourselves. That's not going to happen. We need to be the ones that tell ourselves we are special, act like it and show the world it, and then they will respect that. For me, the most surprising part of the movie was when Krept and Conan came out of nowhere. I did not know they were in this soundtrack, and I'm just there in the cinema and then all I hear is, tell them don't waste my time. Tell them don't waste my time. No. I was like, yeah, baby! Krept and Conan! Oh, you guys, man, I was in the cinema myself getting crunk. One of my favourite parts of the film is when Donnie and Bianca, his girlfriend, are basically just sat in their room talking about their fears, and Donnie's just there casually taking out her hair. I was just like, relationship goals! That is so lovely. That is so lovely, okay, and I'm just a weirdo, I noticed that. I also love the motorbike scene, the training montage where it ends with the motorbikes just coming all around Donnie and he's just cheering and triumphant, and they go and see Rocky, and I was just like, yes, get in there. Basically, I loved this film. It was energetic from beginning to the end, and I fell in love with the characters, each and every single one of them. Michael B. Jordan was fantastic as Donnie. If you haven't seen Fruitvale Station, go and see it. It's by the same director, Ryan Coogler, again, an amazing director. Same with Tessa Thompson. She's just so graceful in her words, in her speech, and everything she does, and I was just like, wow. All in all, I'm gonna give this an inspiration factor score 8 because it was highly inspirational, highly motivational, and I felt, one, like I needed to go to the gym after I watched the movie, but also I just felt so happy for Donnie. I felt really happy for the story, for the journey. So go out and go and see it. Until next week, have an amazing, amazing, amazing time. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and see you next week for another cup of coffee. Creed is a legacy-quel. Yeah, legacy-quel. Legacy, sequel, get it? Segacy. Segacy? Sequel-see? Something like that.